Have you ever stopped and wondered why we spend so much time gathering information, but never really learn how to think? In this world overflowing with knowledge, podcasts, videos, advice columns, and self-help books, we've become collectors of data. Like bowls being filled to the brim, we absorb and absorb, yet no one ever hands us the tools to filter, to question, to apply any of it with wisdom. But today, we're going to change that. In this video, I'm going to show you how Stoic philosophy, a school of thought more than 2,000 years old, can teach you to think clearly, stay calm under pressure, and live with self-control in a chaotic world. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most iconic voices, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's not just a beautiful quote, it's a life-altering shift in mindset. When you understand that your true power lies in your response, not the situation, you unlock a way of living that's calm, collected, and nearly unshakable. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with 10 Stoic principles you can apply immediately. These aren't abstract ideas, they're mental tools to help you build discipline, clarity, and peace. So let's start with the first. Principle 1. Know what you can and can't control. Let me ask you something. Have you ever poured your heart into something, only for the result to fall painfully short? Maybe it was a job interview, a relationship, or a personal goal. You gave it everything, and still it didn't work out. In those moments, it's easy to blame ourselves. But over 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Epictetus gave us a way out of that mental trap. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." What he meant was this: you don't control everything that happens to you, but you do control how you show up, your thoughts, your actions, your perspective. That's your domain. Everything else, what people say, how the world responds, whether you're accepted or rejected, is beyond your reach. And letting go of that burden, that's freedom. Want a real-world example? Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, was just a fax machine saleswoman with an idea. She wanted to make women's undergarments more flattering, but when she tried to get manufacturers on board, she was met with rejection again and again. Instead of giving up, Sarah focused on what she could control. She learned about fabric. She tested prototypes. She researched endlessly. Eventually, she built Spanx into a billion-dollar brand, not because the world gave her permission, but because she kept showing up with what she could influence. So here's how you use this principle today. Got a tough deadline at work? Don't panic about your boss's reaction. Focus on how you plan and deliver. Stressed about a big conversation? You can't predict how they'll respond, but you can control your tone, your timing, and your intention. And here's a secret. Once you stop wasting energy on things you can't change, you'll feel lighter, calmer, more powerful. Principle 2. Start each day with mental rehearsal. Most people roll out of bed and dive straight into their day. But what if you paused just for a moment and asked yourself, what could go wrong today? Not in a gloomy, pessimistic way, but in a way that prepares you. Marcus Aurelius used to do this. He'd begin his mornings by saying, "Today I will meet people who are selfish, ungrateful, and rude." But they act this way because they don't know any better. That's not negative thinking. That's mental armor. Imagine you're walking into a meeting. The slides might not work, the mic might cut out, the internet might die. But because you rehearsed those scenarios in your head, you're ready. You bring printed slides. You keep calm when the mic crackles. You pivot smoothly to telling your story with just your voice and body language. Preparation doesn't eliminate the chaos. It helps you stay calm through it. And that's the essence of Stoic thinking. Train your mind before the storm comes. Don't wait to react. Get ahead of it. You can build this habit right now. Set your alarm 5 minutes earlier. Sit quietly and ask, what could test me today? Then prepare your attitude. If nothing goes wrong, great. You'll enjoy your day even more. If it does, you'll be ready. Principle 3. Amar fati. Love your fate. There's a difference between acceptance and love. Stoics didn't just teach us to accept life's ups and downs, they taught us to embrace them. The idea of amor fati means love your fate. Not just tolerate it, love it, even the hard parts. Let me introduce you to Frida Kahlo, an artist whose life was marked by intense pain. After a horrific bus accident at 18, she spent most of her life in agony, undergoing surgeries and living with permanent injuries. And yet, in that pain, she found color. She painted her suffering. She didn't pretend it didn't exist. She turned it into art. Her canvases told stories of strength, resilience, and unbreakable spirit. Frida once said, "Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly?" That's amor fati. So how do we use this? If your relationship is struggling, see it as a lesson in patience and compassion. If your plans collapse, see it as a redirection, not a failure. If life gets messy, chaotic, unfair, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Loving your fate doesn't mean loving pain. It means trusting that even pain can teach, grow, and strengthen you. Principle 4. Emotions are messengers, not masters. You've been there. That moment when someone says something rude and your blood boils. You want to lash out, defend yourself, or retreat. But here's the Stoic move. Pause, breathe, and separate what you feel from what you do. Being angry isn't the problem. Acting out of anger is. Authenticity isn't about always saying what's on your mind. It's about mastering your reactions so that what you say adds value, not damage. Here's a practical tip. When you're overwhelmed, write your emotions down. Get them out. Then ask, what action aligns with my values right now? If someone criticizes you, you don't have to bite back. If a loved one offends you, you don't have to escalate. You can pause, reflect, choose your words, stay grounded. This isn't weakness, it's strength, the kind that earns respect, the kind that builds peace, even in conflict. Principle 5. Silence is power. We often think silence is passive, but Stoics knew it was the most active kind of strength. When you don't rush to fill the space, when you pause instead of reacting, when you listen twice before speaking once, you show mastery. Picture this. A young manager is publicly criticized by his boss. In the past, he would have snapped, defended himself, raised his voice. But now, he breathes, he waits. He says calmly, "Thank you. I'll review the issue." That's Stoic strength in action. Silence isn't about bottling things up. It's about responding with clarity, not emotion. And the result? Less conflict, more respect, deeper presence. Let your words be few and full of intention. That's where influence lives. Principle 6. Embrace uncertainty. Here's a hard truth most people avoid. Life doesn't owe us clarity. Nothing is guaranteed. Not tomorrow, not the people we love, not even the plans we make today. But there's freedom in that realization. When you fully accept that everything is temporary, you stop clinging. You begin to live more presently, not stuck in what was, not anxious about what might be. Epictetus said it best, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do." That's not passivity, that's alignment. It's syncing yourself with the current of life instead of swimming against it. So, how do you practice this? Each morning, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Imagine waking up and everything is different. Maybe something's gone, maybe someone, maybe you. Now ask yourself, if this was my last day, am I living it with presence and intention? It's not a morbid exercise, it's a spiritual one. Because when you realize time is fleeting, you stop wasting it on arguments, worries, or chasing validation. You listen more, you appreciate more, you hug tighter, you speak kinder, you slow down. You begin to live with purpose, not because everything is certain, but because it isn't. Principle 7. Set internal goals, not external ones. There's a big difference between chasing a result and loving the process. James, a guy we'll use as an example, once obsessed over achieving a perfect physique. He'd stare at the mirror, criticize every flaw, and let the number on the scale dictate his self-worth. Until one day he stopped. He chose a new goal: run every morning, enjoy the sweat, listen to his breath, and be grateful he could move. That small shift changed everything. He wasn't running to impress others. He was running to honor the life and body he was gifted. That's what Stoicism teaches. Focus on your input, not the outcome. Because outcomes, they fluctuate. They're affected by things you can't control, weather, genetics, opinions. But your effort, your consistency, your attitude, those are yours. If you focus on the process, you'll build habits that last longer than any applause. So instead of "I must lose 10 pounds", try "I'm committed to moving my body daily". Instead of "I want 10,000 subscribers", try "I'll create one meaningful video a week". And here's a powerful mindset shift. Thank the Creator for the strength to even try, for every breath, every heartbeat, every chance to grow. Because when your goal is to show up fully, success is inevitable, no matter what the scoreboard says. Principle 8. Community over ego. There's this beautiful story from ancient Rome about a man named Lucius Quinctius Cincinnatus. He was a humble farmer, pulled from his fields during a crisis to become the temporary dictator of Rome. He led, he protected, and the moment the threat passed, he gave up power and went back to his farm. No ego, no clinging, just service. That's Stoicism. Stoics believed we aren't isolated beings. We're part of a greater whole, a city, a family, a global community. Your strength multiplies when it's used for others. Today, we often glorify hyper-independence, but the truth is, we thrive in connection. Think about it. A neighborhood cleanup after a storm, a simple text checking in on a friend, sharing wisdom online that helps a stranger. All of it matters. Epictetus said, "You were born not for yourself, but for the world." You don't need to save nations to live this principle. Start small. Listen without judgment. Volunteer an hour of your week. Mentor someone who's a few steps behind. Because the impact of your life isn't measured by what you keep, it's measured by what you give. And when you lift others, you rise too. Principle 9. Seek voluntary discomfort. Here's something no one wants to hear, but it's essential. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, often practiced brief periods of hardship, wearing simple clothes, eating plain food, taking cold baths, not because he had to, because he chose to. Why? Because it toughens the spirit. It teaches you that you don't need comfort to survive, that you're stronger than you think. In today's world, we run from discomfort, the slightest pain, boredom, or challenge, and we seek distraction. But voluntary discomfort rewires you. Try a cold shower in the morning, just 60 seconds. You'll hate it at first, but afterward, you'll feel alive, energized, centered. That moment when your body screams no and you say yes anyway, that's when your inner muscle grows. You can apply this everywhere. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Say no to sugar for a week. Speak up in the meeting even if your voice shakes. Every small hardship is a seed. Water it with discipline, and it blooms into resilience. And soon, when life throws real discomfort your way, you won't panic. You'll say, "I've trained for this." Principle 10. Audit your thinking. Imagine this. A master swordsman sits by a fire, reviewing his journal. Every move, every misstep, every success, written down, studied, refined. That's not obsession, that's mastery. Thinking, like any other skill, must be sharpened, constantly. Otherwise, old beliefs creep in, emotions take the wheel, biases go unchecked. So how do you sharpen your thinking? Start a Stoic journal. Every week, write 3 times you stayed calm under pressure. 3 times you lost your cool or didn't act wisely. What worked? What didn't? What will you try next time? Then adjust. Don't just reflect, refine. Ask, did I act out of emotion or principle? Did I make assumptions without evidence? Did I stay aligned with what I say I value? This habit turns you from a passive learner into a conscious creator of your mindset. You can even invite a trusted friend into the process. Talk about your wins and misses. Learn from each other. Grow together. And over time, you'll notice your thoughts becoming sharper, your reactions more measured, and your inner life more peaceful. Because you're no longer running on autopilot, you're steering the ship with intention, reflection, and grace. We've just journeyed through 10 Stoic thinking principles that can radically change the way you move through life. You've learned how to focus on what you can control mentally, prepare for difficulty, love your fate, even the hard parts, separate emotion from action, use silence as strength, embrace life's uncertainty, choose internal goals, prioritize community, practice voluntary discomfort, and refine your thinking every week. Now, the question is, which one will you use today? Pick just one, apply it. Maybe pause before reacting, or take that cold shower, or say no to something comfortable. Then come back here. Share what happened, because your story might inspire someone else to take their first step too. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another chance to sharpen your mindset with Stoic wisdom. See you in the next video.